Welcome to the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. Discover less and enjoy our holistic resources. Join us weekly on Wednesdays for our live talk show discussing the topics central to maintaining the holistic lifestyle you want. Each week we bring on leaders, product providers, and educators to enlighten and empower your natural journey in wellness. Let us begin. Welcome to another fabulous Wellness Wednesday here, broadcasting to you live on Interlight Radio, known as the Healing Frequency. This is the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We are here each and every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Once again, 11 a.m. to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Our Facebook page is Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. Once again, on Facebook, Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. Our website is createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Once again, createyourholisticlifestyle.com. We are live. You want to call in and ask any questions for our guests or our co-hosts? The call-in number is 310-928-7733. Once again, 310-928-7733. All right. Hey, Dr. Frank, how you doing out there in beautiful Canada? Hey.
Doing fantastic on this rainy day in Toronto, where we actually officially have the old Prime Minister. We just finished our elections, only to have absolutely nothing change. It was the most useless election in Canadian history. Zero change whatsoever. Great.
Oh, that's interesting. Any protests, any breakouts, anything U.S. style?
Well, there was a little bit of heckling during the lead up. Our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, when he was campaigning, he had some dirt thrown at him and some protesters coming out. But otherwise,
exciting.
Yeah, well, he calls this election, and everybody's like, why are you calling an election in the middle of a pandemic? There's no reason for it. And basically, if you look at his seats before and after the election, pretty much everything stayed the same. Everybody voted pretty much the same. So we're all looking at this going, you just wasted $612 million on an election during a pandemic where you could have put that money towards healthcare. This was completely useless. What was the purpose? There was none. Ugh, frustrating.
Well, is this gonna be a bad thing for you guys?
Well, it's the same as it was beforehand, so it's like nothing has changed. Is it a bad thing? Well, everything's going to stay the same, but it's bad from the perspective of you just wasted $612 million. And we have a healthcare system that really could have used that, because it's falling apart because of the stress and strain on it.
A lot of people say that guy stays in office because he's a handsome guy, I don't know. It's kind of funny how social media looks influences everything.
But it does. We wish it didn't, but there's research on it. Yeah, as another Canadian who doesn't live in Canada, though, people, if they wanted to change, they shouldn't have been voting back in the same person, just like California. Maybe we don't want change. Maybe it's, maybe people think that he's the one who saved everyone, when there's lots of research and information that's proving, look around us, people. Are we still in a pandemic? Were we ever? But are we now? No. So I don't understand the mindset of bringing him back, except for if they think that he is the savior and saved them from all the bad things that could have happened. And I'm guessing that's what it was. A lot of people are
just starting to understand what it means to really vote. I think a lot of people just overlooked it in the past, kind of like, it doesn't count. That doesn't mean anything, and other people were making the decisions, and now they're realizing that, hey, I need to understand what's going on. These decisions, hey, this depends on how many seats I get in the Senate, and blah, blah, blah. So, it's kind of interesting. All right, Dr. Rab, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I just came out of the front, and Mary told me that I thought I'd turn that off.
Hey, it's a nice jam. See how groovy Dr. Rab is? Not only is he healthy, he's groovy too.
That's my person who I get my scale of silver from, but I got to talk to him a little later. Yeah. Anyway, I was trying to share something, and now that is kind of knocked me off my whatever, because Mary had shared something. Oh no, I would want. as one lady, she said the lady had called and told her that two people showed up at her house asking her if she had had her shot. She told her, she said,
door to door like Jehovah's
yeah, right.
Like Jehovah's Witness. Oh my God.
She said she told them, if you don't get away from here, there's gonna be a shot. You know? Yeah, just come up to her door. Two people just come up, knocked on her door, and said, "Have you had your vaccination yet?"
Seriously, who are these people?
Yeah, what kind of ID they were carrying?
I don't know.
Very interesting thing.
I don't know, but it's getting really bad. Something good's got to happen because, I mean, they're pushing, trying to force these so-called vaccines, so-called vaccines. They ain't no vaccine in the first place, but they're trying to force that on people.
Now they got the 3 to 11-year-olds now.
Yeah,
they're the new ones, and they
the
did
babies.
They said, yeah.
Well, watch. Mark my words. There will be a new variant. Watch, there will be, because now they're introducing it to a new population, so there will be a new variant. Watch.
Well, the World Health Organization is already saying that. Listen, this isn't a pandemic, this is an endemic, and we have underdeveloped nations who not even 10% of their population are vaccinated. So before you start looking at booster shots, why don't we put vaccinations in the arms of these people so that we don't get those new variants? But it's not making any sense. I think we should be listening more to the World Health Organization.
Right.
Yeah.
It says you're temporarily blocked. Facebook's. I'd ask Jamal about this. Who is? Maybe we are. Maybe we're talking too much about this vaccination stuff.
Yep, I bet we are.
Well, I know that they sanctioned a couple of our shows, but boy, I tell you, we really on the. See, you're temporarily blocked. We have to find out about that. Okay.
Jonathan, I got to step away for a minute because that was my supplier for my silver. And
okay, Doc.
I'll be right back.
All right, Doc, go right ahead. All right, so listen, if you're just tuning in, this is Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We're going to take a first commercial break. We're going to come back with our guests and get into this great conversation for the day. We'll be right back.
Meet me in the marvelous St. Martin for an evolution into self-love and soulful living. Hi, I'm Bernadette Davies, founder of Agape Holistic Retreat in St. Martin and around the globe. We're an all-inclusive retreat in St. Martin and private retreats and around the globe. It's magical. www.agapeholisticretreatsxm.com. Attunement, enhancement, alignment. www.agapeholisticretreatsxm.com. Meet you in St. Martin.
My name is Michelle. I am the beauty boss of A More Beautiful You with Jafra Cosmetics. What is so wonderful about Jafra is that it is an essential business and fits into everyday needs for everyone in your family. Jafra offers over 500 products within 4 departments, and they are, department number 1 is our skincare department with our 5 exclusive Royal Jelly skincare lines powered by our Royal Jelly RJX technology. Number 2 is our on-trend gorgeous color and makeup line, a must-see. Number 3 is our fragrance from the world's top perfumers. And department number 4 is our body care for the entire family. Just added is our daily advanced hand sanitizers in 2 sizes. I invite you to visit my website to see more of A More Beautiful You with Jafra. My website is www.amorebeautiful-u.com. That is www.amorebeautiful-u.com. Thank you and stay safe and well.
Welcome to the hemp industry, including new product CBD-based discoveries is here. It is a smart, organic personal care option today. Industrial hemp is one of the fastest growing segments of the wellness industry and is quickly emerging as a lucrative business opportunity for many. This emerging industry strives to create products that are designed to revolutionize the way people care for themselves. These products are well formulated to produce the finest quality of dietary supplements on the market, derived from industrial hemp containing proprietary CBD compounds that help support the body's endocannabinoid system. For more information regarding hemp, nano water soluble CBD, CBD pet care, CBD choices for your complete body, and receive your home delivery, visit The Lifestyle Store at www.createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Once again, The Lifestyle Store. It's at www.createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Health is the new wealth.
All right, we're back. Health is the new wealth. So, Dr. Brooke, who's our special guest today?
Oh my goodness. Well, Amy, come on to the show. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, Amy.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You betcha. So one of the things with Create Your Holistic Lifestyle, we get a lot of health conscious people, with different modalities or foods to eat and things like that. But one thing that we have not ever had on since I've been on the show for several years is somebody who's talking to you about our environment and what we're putting in our environment for cleaning. And so Amy actually does this for my home. She keeps it clean and uses always cloths and substances that will clean the home, but not leave it toxic for when we live in it. So welcome, Amy, because this is important stuff, isn't it?
I think so. I believe so. Yes.
Yep. And so what kind of things do people like? So a lot of people I know will do so much stuff for their health, but then they throw on the bleach or they spray something on their windows. Tell me about what you got, what you're finding and just kind of what your process is, because I think it's interesting for people to be able to leave today knowing this is what I can use. This is what I don't want to use. This is the problem with it and what we can do with that. So what do you think? What are some of the easy stuff that they can begin with?
Sure. Well, I've been representing a company called Norwex for about 10 years.
Okay.
I found out about the company. I researched the company, and they actually sell these cloths they're called Enviro cloths. And you can use these cloths to clean 90% of your home. The other 10% you might need a little more than the cloth and water. But the really neat thing about these cloths is they're so versatile, and you can clean windows, you can clean countertops, you can clean cupboard doors, refrigerators, floors, walls, everything with this one cloth. And then if you're doing a shiny surface, you use a polishing cloth that's also made out of this really amazing microfiber. And this microfiber isn't like any other microfiber. It is a microfiber that is very much set apart from the rest. It is extremely fine. Yeah, it's extremely fine. And the way that it's woven together actually allow it to pick everything off of a surface. So normally when people are thinking clean, they're thinking, okay, I want to sanitize every surface in my home to make sure that my family is safe. What they a lot of times don't think of, because it's so accepted in our culture, is that chemicals are what you use. You use bleach, like you said, or ammonia, or any of those really tough chemicals, and they're thinking that smell is clean, which that's actually the wrong way to think, because it's actually very toxic, and it's probably more toxic to your body than it is to have a dirty home. So what I use are these cloths, and they remove everything from the surface, so you don't have to sanitize the surface, because you're actually removing everything off of the surface. So if there's nothing left on your surface, you don't have to sanitize. So it's really just a different kind of way to think about clean.
And so to confirm, so if you're cleaning windows, or we have these the stone countertops. So you're not spraying and wiping, you're just plain old wiping with water and these cloths.
Yes. Sometimes I'll use a little booster. It's actually a laundry detergent that Norwex also, I'll put a little tiny bit of that sometimes just to help. But most of the time you don't need anything but water and this cloth. If you've had stuff stuck on there for a long time, if you have kids and they have oatmeal stuck to the counter, sometimes I'll just use the spray or just a bottle of water to spray just to let it sit. Yeah, but this microfiber is so scrubby that it does scrub really well. And then it's really economical, because you invest in the cloths, and then you can use these cloths and reuse these cloths for years and years. I've had them for 10 years, and I'm still using them.
And you use a lot. So this is what you do, and you're so great at it. Because I got to say, when we come home, the place shines, I had to kind of, like, even essential oils, it's nice to have that smell, but we get conditioned to think that's the clean, but it's not. And I'm not even scared of a little bit of germs, but you know,
yeah, right.
That's a different thing. But we don't have to worry about that with what you're doing there. So tell me, like, what do you usually see? Like, if somebody, what's the worst stuff that you're like, I bite my tongue, I don't want to be rude, but like somebody's probably
like when the worst stuff that
No, like when they're cleaning their home and you're like, oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, well, when I first started selling Norwex, I was in people's homes a lot. And so I would do this is a direct sales party business as well. So I would be in their homes and I would say, just let me look around your home and let me find these areas that you don't normally clean. It did make them feel like kind of nervous that I would be looking for their dirt. But I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I would find mold growing in a shower or, a toilet that hadn't been cleaned for a really long time. And we also have products that clean hard water deposits and things like that really well. But for the most part, it's really just the cloth. And one of the things I forgot to mention about the cloth is not only does it remove everything from a surface, it's been scientifically tested and proved to remove 99.9% of everything from a surface, which would, what is, when they say you use bleach, it's 99.9% effective, but then you leave that residue. This is just the water and you're removing. And then once you rinse it out, I always use hot water to rinse the cloth out. And then all of the stuff that will leave will come out of the cloth because the fibers expand and then everything gets extracted out of the cloth. And then you hang the cloth to dry because the cloth actually has silver. And I think I heard someone talk about silver earlier. It has silver, and silver is an antimicrobial property, so it'll actually kill the bacteria within the cloth. So the cloth is self-purifying as well.
Well,
when it comes to like bacteria.
Just think about your cleaning closet right now and how much crap you have in there. Spray for this, solvent for that, like heavy duty cleaners, lighter cleaners. You could have a cloth, like a cloth. It's just that's how simple it is. It's just. Yeah, I think like my pool, we have an EcoSmart system. We don't use chlorine and we don't use salt or anything like that. We swim in pure water. It's cleaner than what we drink, honestly, when it comes out, except for we have kids who swim in there, so don't drink my pool water.
Warning.
Not. We actually, one year, we were trying to like tell the kids that we had some kind of, have you guys seen Grown Ups where like, they pee in the pool, it turns all blue. Well, there's no such thing as that. That's not true. But we did take some dye, and we were trying to pretend that it was that, but it dissipates so fast it didn't even work. So, but anyway, but we're always we're trying to strive. We're striving all the time to put less toxin in it, because all that chemicals, like the bleach that we clean with, even the other substances, read what's in it. Oh my gosh, you won't know the contents, except for if it says water. That's about the only thing that we know. Just like the pool, like we put chlorine in, that's going straight in our environment. And we always complain about, our environment, but then we do all kinds of crap that just, even the plastics that these things come in, the spray bottles, plastic is poisonous.
Well, I'm just curious about that too. So with that cloth, how often would you have to clean it, and how would you clean it?
Okay.
And what color is it?
Well, it comes in an array of colors. So whatever you like, you can pick the color that you like. And sometimes people will buy colors for different rooms, so they know this is for my kitchen, this one's for my bathroom. But so how I say to clean it is first of all, you can use it for a long time until you feel like you want to wash it. One way that I can usually tell that it's time is if it does begin to smell. So like I said, it has the silver in it, but over time, if oils it onto the silver, then the silver can't do its job anymore. And usually that's how I say to be able to tell, okay, it's time to wash the cloth, because it's starting to have a little bit of a smell. Now I'm just going to put it in hot water. You can use vinegar to clean the cloth, or we also have this amazing filler-free, toxic, non-toxic laundry detergent that I always recommend. I think it does the best job. It's great it has so many other uses as well. But so I just actually would, if I only had one of the cloths, which I have a whole bunch, so I'd put mine in the washer, like, 10, 15 cloths at a time, because this is what I do. But normally people just have one or two of these cloths, and then they put them in a bucket of hot water, really hot water, so the fibers have a chance to open up and release. And then I add a little bit of the detergent, or you can use vinegar, and let it sit overnight. I rinse it out. I either hang it up to dry, or I put it in the dryer to get that fluff back to it. But yeah, so it's really easy to take care of as well.
So when the towel gets a little bit weighted a little bit, that's all another way, right? Stuff builds up on it. It's not as light as it was before. You can go through. Okay. And how large are the towels? Are they about your hand size? Or?
It's just like they're like a regular cleaning cloth size. If you were to buy a normal microfiber cloth in the store, they're the same size. And then there's the polishing cloth that you can have to just wipe a surface dry afterwards, because what would be left behind would be just a little bit of water. And if you were cleaning a window, then you would just take that dry polish cloth. They're actually called window cloths, but I like to call them polish cloths because they're for more, like for Brooks granite countertops, I like to use a polish cloth to make it shine afterwards to remove any water residue that's left behind. So they're kind of like an amazing pair.
Yep.
Hey, Dr. Rabb, are you back?
Yeah, I've been back and listening, and it's all very, very interesting.
I guess it's something you could use also, Doc, to clean your equipment as you're manufacturing, it sounds like to me. I just happen to think about you for that.
I'm sure.
Kind of wipe down and
silver. Yeah, because the silver in it.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Amy.
Oh, I was just going to say, we also have a mop that has the same exact idea. So they're mop pads, but they're the same as the cloth. They have the microfiber, they have the silver, and there's different kinds. There's dry and there's wet microfiber mop pads. And they do the same thing for your floor as the cloths do for your countertops. So there's so many products, and I can give you a link to learn more about Norwex, but I am pretty passionate about it because it's just made my job so easy. There's no way that I would be a home cleaner if I had to use toxic chemicals. They would kill me. So
they ship out to Canada, the U.S. That's probably the two places they ship to.
Yes, actually there are in other countries as well now. But the company actually was born in Canada.
Yeah.
And then it moved to the U.S. in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's just been spreading throughout the U.S. and it's become a pretty well-known household name. I mean, it's become very popular even in the 10 years that I've been involved with the company.
It's so funny because a lot of times on this show we'll talk about how things are lost in time. And like when I was talking about my pool, we use a copper anode to clean it. And, the silver, we've forgotten that is a cleaning substance that, I mean, it's there. It's not going to go away. It's really fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back in history, they would use silver basins to hold their water, so it would just self-purify as it sat in the silver basins. And they used to use real silverware. Yes, and real silverware they would use because they knew that silverware would kill the bacteria. So, hundreds of thousands of years ago, they knew these things.
Didn't know that.
Always gotta love the ancient wisdom.
Yeah, how many comes in a pack for the cloths? How many do you get in a pack?
You would
just 6?
You can buy it separately, or you can buy it as a basic package with the polishing cloth, or you can buy a rainbow package if you want one of every color. They actually come in smaller sizes too for travel. We sell these really cute little bags that you could put them in. You could put a wet one in and a dry one in, and you can use them more than just in your house. But I take little ones around with me and put them in this little plastic. It's not like, I don't know, it has like a liner on the inside. So if you take one wet for the day, say you're going to be out shopping before Christmas or something, you know you're going to be out all day, you know you're going to be touching a lot of things. I just throw one of those into my little bag wet and zip it up. And when I need it, I take it out and I wipe my hands. So instead of using like a hand sanitizer, which is also toxic to your body if it's not a natural hand sanitizer, and you can have those on the go with you. They're great for cleaning up kids, or if you spill spaghetti sauce on your shirt, it'll pull. So another great, amazing thing about the cloth is that I have pulled tar, I've pulled oil, I've pulled food, pigmented food out of fabrics with just water. So it really just does, it's almost miraculous. It's a
You know what? You gave me a crazy idea listening to you. I'm thinking everybody needs to run around with like a tool belt, right? So they got their sanitizer, everything right on there. So when they go in the stores, there they go. They just go right in the belt, take out what they need, wipe it off, and keep rolling. I think I kind of see that for the future.
But all you need, you don't even need a tool belt. You just bring your little Ziploc with your wet substance in it, But
I'm curious as well because one of the things that they talk about with respect to a lot of the other products that are cleaning products, the fact that they leave a residue. So it's a toxic residue. So if you have children, they'll actually put their hands on the cleaner, the toxic residue that's potentially on the surface, and then they'll be like licking their hands and getting exposure that way. So would that happen with something like this? And what happens with the silver inside? Does it leach out? Because that would be a concern of mine.
No, the silver does not leach out of the cloth. That's a very common question. It's actually a silver agent, and it's built into the fabric itself in the cloth. So the silver does not leach. Concerning wiping surfaces and not leaving residue, that's something I always like to inform my people about as well, that you're not leaving anything behind. So if you were to use like a normal Clorox bleach wipe or anything else almost, you're going to be leaving something behind. And not only is it toxic to touch, but it's also creating a residue that attracts more germs and attracts more dirt. It's usually never just dry feeling.
Well, that's the interesting thing, because I know there were some clothing companies that were actually using silver in their clothing products to make workout gear. So that when you sweat in the workout gear, it wouldn't smell. And what they were finding is that the silver was actually leaching out of those cloths or out of those materials and leaching into the environment. And it was actually causing damage to the environment because it would kill off the bacteria in the ecosystem. So in ponds, and that's really important. So it's really great that you're saying, hey, we've looked at this, we've tested this, and it's right into the material. So when we wash it, it doesn't come out into the environment.
Yes, that's right. And I've heard about that workout wear, and I didn't know it did that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it will get into the smaller ecosystems. It gets into the water table, and then ponds, it kills off the bacteria, and that's what the fish eat, the frogs eat, that sort of thing. So it'll actually cause a die-off of those, and then that has a spill-off in the environment.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, there's always so much.
So silver clothing bad, this good.
And then
educators.
Yep.
Well, I know someone's going to be asking that question if, or having that in the back of their mind.
Yes, I get asked that question.
Yeah.
Some people are allergic to silver. So
really?
That's, one of the reasons why they ask.
I heard that.
Oh, wow.
Allergic to
Well, I have heard of that before. Now, what would those people do? Would they wear some gloves when they use it, or is it still because it's weaved into the cloth, it's fine?
Yeah, well, I have never heard of a case of someone having an allergy because they've used the cloth. So I don't know that it would affect them if they were touching the cloth, but I have heard the question asked because people are allergic. So I really don't know the answer to that question. I haven't heard that anyone has had an allergy from touching our cloths, but I have heard that people have allergies to silver. So I'm not sure.
And this is what makes you an amazing person to interview, because if you don't know, you're not going to tell us what you're guessing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of things.
Well, you sound pretty knowledgeable
all
to
of
me.
us.
Yeah.
I
would imagine the people that I know that have allergies to silver, it's usually not anaphylactic. So if they wore gloves, they'd probably be fine. But you'd want to clarify.
Now, do they have any type of clothing you wear, anything like that?
Do I have a specific kind of clothing that I wear?
Does the company sell any?
No. That sounded dirty. That's right up Jonathan's area. Yes.
I'm thinking maybe they made some clothing out of this stuff, that protect you.
No.
Next generation.
Well, yeah, no, Norwex does not sell clothing, but they do sell body products. So we have the same thing in a body cloth. So if you were to clean your face or your body, it's the same exact idea. They're softer, so they're not as scrubby, so you don't injure yourself. But they have the silver, and they're made out of microfiber, but it's more of a soft microfiber. It's a looser weave, and it actually pulls like oils and dirt and bacteria from your skin, and it also keeps the pH of your skin the same, so you don't have to worry about stripping your face. Like when you normally use a face cleaner of some sort, you're changing the pH of your skin, and that can cause a reaction. And then you will have to use a toner. That's why they sell toners for skin, so they can try to get it back to its normal pH.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's what I was thinking earlier. I was going to ask if they had something like a facial type scenario. So I'm good. I'm glad you covered that. Yeah. It'd only be natural.
Yeah.
I'm a product guy. That's why I ask these questions,
Okay.
Right.
No, that's a great question. And it led me straight into saying, we have cleaning cloths for the body as well. And there's so much. There's towels. We have a lot of different products, and they're all, the foundation of the company is to keep it natural, to keep it simple, keep it natural. And the company really is a company just full of integrity, and they've done all their, they've been honest as well. If a product comes out and it's not as good as they thought, they have a very high quality standard, and so they'll take it off the market and come back with a better product. So they're really a great company to work for. I really have nothing bad to say about them, and they've really helped me in my business, because now I can move about the community cleaning homes with things that I can, with products that I can trust and that I feel comfortable telling other people about, because there are a lot of people with allergies these days. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes they'll use essential oils in some of my products. I know that they're great. Essential oils can be great, but some people do have allergies to essential oils. So this is just a way where I can eliminate even that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next generation you have there. But I think it's also good you have someone like yourself that's in the health and wellness business that can have a product you can share that can also give you revenue for you to be successful to keep putting the message out there. Because I think, every health professional should have something, some type of affiliate program, some type of something they're involved in where they can get residual income, because you'd be surprised how some people, they just don't want to make money because they're helping people, but unfortunately, a broke tribe is no tribe. So you have to be able to get out, do events, expose things, and it takes money to do that. So, I think it's smart for you to partner with someone. You don't have to spend the money and manufacture all this stuff yourself and, go into the hole for all this capital and production, because it can get quite costly.
Oh, that's true.
Take it from me.
Yeah. Well, and one of the nice things I like is that it started in Canada. I already knew because I was using it when I was in Canada.
Yeah,
and
Canada's got
my
good
sister-in-law
reputation.
was. Yeah. Well, and it's because They have, like, when I left 25 years ago, there was about 450 different components that Canada is not allowed to use in their foods and products. Like, they don't have high fructose corn syrup. It's fructose. And so there's just such a different, liability. They're not allowed to put these things in. So that to me is even a yay. Okay, if it comes from Canada, I know it's along their lines. Doctor, you can maybe talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, Dr. Frank, you jump right in there.
Well, yeah, but then they do silly things. Like, I was talking to my students during, last semester during their first year, nutrition, and I was asking one of the students, like, hey, okay, let's take out table salt, and I want you to read me the list, because if I tell you this, you're not going to believe me. But if one of you says this and you see it, you're going to believe it. And there was sugar. There's sugar in table salt. You read the ingredients, there's sugar. So then we have another salt called no salt, which is a potassium salt, which is supposed to be for people who want to lower their sodium content, lower their blood pressure. These are people who already have health conditions, and there's sugar in that. So, yes, high fructose corn syrup is pretty much that, and aspartame, in some type of artificial sweetener. They're some of the worst things you could do for your body. But if you're going to, like, sugar in your salt, like, what's the point?
Really? I mean,
so it's still awful.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people do not read the labels. I mean, they just go into a store like Whole Foods and just trust they've done all the work for you. And just isn't true. It isn't.
They think that because it's in a health food store, it has to be healthy. And I've talked to health food store owners, and they're like, look, we're trying to survive. People are asking for these products. We're selling them, but these aren't healthy. So what are you going to do?
I'll go into like Sprouts or something. It might be something that I want to get. So I'll usually ask the person in that section, and we'll get there. There'll be 3 or 4 different brands. And I ask them, okay, how many capsules do I have to take of this? How many of this? What's the potency of this? And what's the potency of that? You know what I mean? All right. What are your thoughts? What are your feedback? I mean, I start asking questions, And I look, because I don't like to get stuff where I got to take 4 of them when I can take 2 over here. Because next thing you know, you got a whole desk full of stuff.
But sometimes those people know a lot, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't have a lot of training and education, and they are, they're working through school, and they're being paid minimum wage to be there, and they don't know the answers. Well, so it's kind of, I think you need a healthcare professional. You need a team.
Yeah, but sometimes you do ask them when you go there. Like, you might have heard a show. You're talking about a particular, herb or something. You go down there. You got to work with what you have. It's kind of tough sometimes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I listen to these webinars, and they give the name of the doctor and everything, and they did a whole series on, let's say, your gut. You try to get a hold of talking to the people. It's almost impossible,
Right.
But you wrote down some of the herbs that was there. You know what I mean? So you try to do the research and keep going along. And sometimes I find myself in that position. Okay, they said this. Let me go through and look at it. Fulvic acid, I'm going to take a look at it, go there and see what I can find out. It's all these different things, but you do have to ask the questions, at least try.
And don't ask them which one is, sells the most, because a lot of the big companies who want a piece of the holistic world will slap organic, and one component might be organic. They don't have to disclose that the rest of it isn't, and they're getting the big money to advertise. And
agave syrup was classic for that, wasn't it? Because agave syrup, once it started getting popular, people started putting the high fructose corn syrup in and calling it agave syrup. And
stretching.
Olive oil, same thing. Yeah, it's 100% pure virgin olive oil. Sure, the olive oil that's in it is, but what's the other oils you're cutting it with?
It's just one of those things. But, back to the cleaning, look at your products, pull them out of your cupboard and just take a look and see, because what you're putting out there, like if you're using this stuff, it's going on your surfaces, you're touching it, you're eating it, but you're also breathing it. And so when we think about our holistic health, create your holistic lifestyle, this is a big, big part of it, because the air you breathe, winter's coming and we're going to be shut into our homes. And if we are spraying toxic stuff around, don't be too surprised if your lungs aren't too happy, or there's a lot of things your body can do to let you know that it's not really happy with what's going on with the air. So,
a lot of people use the, those diffusers, and they put the oil in there. And sometimes you hear good and bad about that. Sometimes, lavender, these different ones.
That stuff works. I'm out like a light with the lavender.
Yeah, but sometimes you go, should I be breathing this? Or those candles. I mean, I've heard so many mixed reviews on the candles. It's unbelievable.
I mean,
actually, we used to manufacture one that did all the stuff, for you and the air and everything. And then when it melts down, it turns into massage oil. I mean, we had a client that we made that for. I thought that was kind of interesting.
It is.
But I'm always a little crazy about what I'm breathing. Because when I worked at the Ritz-Carlton, my favorite thing to do was to go into the steam room and squirt the hell of that eucalyptus oil in there. And I tell you, I always felt so good.
Oh, I
mean, that right there was just a really good treat. Get it nice and steamy, and your body really reacts to that. Okay, look, let's just take a break right now. We're going to come back. Listen, if you're just tuning in, this is the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We are live. If you have any questions, 310-928-7733. Once again, 310-928-7733. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Detox Jenny here. Is your digestion poor, painful, or just plain stuck? If so, please consider doing a short 3 to 10 day juice cleanse with my company, Earthly Juices. You can visit us at bringmejuice.com. You will be surprised what a difference a short cleanse can make within your body and your overall well-being. Our organic farm-to-table juice cleanses are handcrafted to exclude your allergies and geared towards solving your health issues. Call 310-404-6804 and mention this show and receive a free quart of juice with your first order. You can also find us at www.bringmejuice.com. Or you could write us your detox questions at earthlyjuices@gmail.com. We can't wait to bring that juice to your doorstep.
I tell myself again and again, I'm happy about my favorite juice from gin. I tell myself again and again, well, Earthly Juices, they make the best juice cleanse.
Hi, this is Dr. Nathan Rabb Jr., host of The Natural Way, which you can hear live on InnerlightRadio.com every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On The Natural Way, you will learn about alternative strategies to common medical practices to overcome some of the most common physical and mental maladies in the world today. The program is a live call-in show, so you can engage me by calling 310-928-7733 with your health-related questions. For private consultations, please call my office. That's at 310-419-4372. You can also reach me on the web at Dr. Dr. Nathan, Nathan, Rabb, RABB.com. Be sure to tune in to The Natural Way every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, live on InnerlightRadio.com. The Healing Frequency. I'm Dr. Nathan Rabb. We see you on the air. Peace.
Historically, our ancestors lived 100% organic and natural, simply grazing off the green earth with fresh fruits and vegetables and blue oceans filled with seafood. Allowing your mind, body, and soul to be naturally healthy is how we were meant to live during this journey of our lives. We invite you to visit The Lifestyle Store. Once again, The Lifestyle Store, for all of your family's health and wellness needs. Simply click on The Lifestyle Store at www.createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Once again, www.createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Keep this in mind. Health is the new wealth.
We are back live. This is the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. Question for you. Now, does the company have, and I notice a lot of people are getting into this big time, air purifiers, anything like that?
We do sell a ceramic no, these bags, and I'm not real familiar with them. I mean, I've used them, but they're made with charcoal, so they have the charcoal on the inside.
Oh, okay.
And so you can put them in your closet, and it'll, suck up any like smells or things in the air that are harmful. But other than that, we really see, the thing is, when you're cleaning your surfaces really well, you don't really need a lot of air purification. Mm-hmm. Because your surfaces are cleaner and your house is cleaner. But yeah, I guess when you're stuck in the house in the winter, it is good to have, especially, I mean, this is Wisconsin I'm coming from, so we're in the winter in the house a lot. So I think growing plants in your house is a really great idea for air purification.
I think a lot of people are boning up because they have to spend so much time at home these days. I mean, I'm thinking about a lot of things I've ever thought about before, home offices and different plants for this, but it's important because you're spending more time and you have to realize, hey, I've got to address this. I'm here more often, I'm tired of looking at that over here. I need to use this. I need to change that. So I think it's perfect, the conversation we're having today, talking with you.
Yeah. When you were talking earlier before the break, you brought up the air and how about candles and those little plugins that you put into your wall. I was just going to mention that since I stopped using chemical cleaners and all the different chemicals, like for instance, I don't use dryer sheets. Dryer sheets are one of the most toxic things that you could have in your home. I think it's like the second most toxic thing or something when they checked out all the household items that people might have. Dryer sheets, fabric softeners are extremely toxic. The chemicals in them really are just really bad for you. And so once you stop using all of those things, you do not need all the candles. You do not need all of the plugins because you become more sensitive. So your sense of smell actually changes, and you really start smelling things easier because you're not like overloading that sense with all of the toxins.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, when you constantly think that, it has to smell like bleach or it's clean, I have been guilty of that one. I'm a toxic nightmare that way. I'm like, it doesn't smell like bleach, it's not clean. When you do that, then of course, normal smell is going to be like, that's dirty. No, it's not. It's just not neurotic is what it boils down to.
Well said, Doc.
I'm just speaking for myself from personal experience. Thank you for helping me to not be an environmental nightmare. The world appreciates you.
Yeah, what I was just going to say that I think that it just like everything else that you probably talk about on the show, it's just changing the way you think. It's just changing the patterns of your mind. And when I, tell people about these products, sometimes they're like, oh no, I'm just so used to using all these products. So it's really hard for people sometimes to grasp that it's hard to change their mind. And that's not my job. My job is not to change their mind, but my job is to inform them if they're asking me questions or, they're asking, but then it's hard for them sometimes because it's like they're not, it takes a little while. Sometimes I've had people who have followed me around for like multiple parties because sometimes you have to hear something multiple times before it really sinks in. And, that's really common. So just like when you said you think of bleach as clean, I mean, that's all over the world. People probably think that. And they're thinking, it doesn't have that clean smell. Well, clean shouldn't smell like anything. But nobody really thinks that.
Yes. Absolutely. And, it's part of it too is like loosening the grip. Like you have to develop that trust with people. So they're like, I'm not so sure about this when they first hear it because it's just so different than what they're used to. But once they start to loosen the grip and trust you and see other people go, this is fantastic and I haven't gotten botulinum or salmonella, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly. It is about, and that's what I love about owning, these businesses is that I get to develop relationship with people and I get to impact their lives in a positive way. just makes me feel good that I get to be used in a way to help change people's lives and help them be healthier and save money and just help them revolutionize the way that they think clean. You know, I just feel like really good about it. So
yeah.
Well, and I'd love to hear some of those type of stories too, because you always hear about the people who are cigarette smokers who finally, when they quit, they become the biggest advocate for people who shouldn't smoke to the point they become annoying. And I would imagine that you have people that have tried your products that actually become that way too. They're like, we were so toxic and now look at us and everybody should be like this.
Yes. Yeah, there are. Yeah, very much so.
Can you tell us some of the stories?
Yeah. Well, yes, and I've actually heard multiple stories from people who were cleaning ladies themselves, and how they would, you know, use regular cleaning products like bleach and Lysol and all the things that people use for cleaning, and they would literally be so toxic that they would, you know, they didn't realize how. Lots of times people are walking around, they don't realize they're sick. You know, it takes sometimes a long time. For some people, they're not as sensitive as others. Like, in my family, I would say that I'm the most sensitive, but I've become more sensitive. So this lady, she was cleaning, but she started to realize she wasn't feeling good, and she didn't know why, because she didn't know anything about how toxic the cleaners were that she was using. And she would, you know, even when she would urinate, it smelled like bleach, because it was literally going into her body and, you know, just yeah, so she was so toxic, she was literally killing herself. And now she's a Norwex consultant and a house cleaner as well. And she's a huge advocate because she has that testimony. I was dying. This is for real. This is important. I know it sounds silly, but it's not. It was literally killing me, you know. And then I have testimonials from people who have children, teenagers with lots of, you know, issues with acne on their face. And we know that, like, health comes from within, but sometimes it helps when you show a teenager, like, okay, let's start on the outside. Let's just try this first, because sometimes changing a teenager diet is extremely difficult. You know, they'll want to eat all the pizza on the McDonald's. But I would bring them this cloth, and they would start using this cloth, and they could see, like, what a difference it would make to actually just clean their face without chemicals, and how their acne would clear up because they were pulling the bacteria off of their face without using all these other chemicals to try to, like, change everything on the outside. So I have many testimonials on how the body cloths help people with eczema or acne.
Well, it wouldn't strip the oils as well, which is a common mistake in teenagers. They just strip the oil off their skin, and then that's not what the cause is, and then their skin actually becomes more irritated and more prone to acne. So I could see where that would be a great benefit.
Also prone to crack and wrinkle. Too.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, or produce more oil, because sometimes when you're stripping your body of its natural oil, your skin starts to create even more oil.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. So much good stuff. I love it.
I'd like at this point to give out your contact information. Please say everything twice so that people get a chance to write it down, whatever you like to share. And her post also is on our Facebook page, which is Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So if you want to contact me, my email is supernaturalgreencleaning@gmail.com. That's supernaturalgreencleaning@gmail.com. My website for my business, for Norwex, if you're interested in shopping maybe any of the products or learning more about the products, that's www.amySamarzia, so it's AMYSAMARZIA.Norwex, NORWEX.biz, BIZ. So that's www.amySamarzia.Norwex.biz. And you can find me on Facebook on my cleaning page. It's Supernatural Green Cleaning.
All right. And also go to our Facebook page and put a comment on your post with that link and information. That way it's fresh right there for everyone.
Sure, I can do that.
All right, Dr. Rabb,
Sure.
closing thoughts.
Wonderful just to hear someone, who's doing something that they enjoy doing, and it's also helping other folks as well. So there's no selfishness there, and that's very good.
They call that living the clean. Living the clean.
Hey.
All right, Dr. Frank, your closing thoughts.
Thank you so much for sharing your time, your story, and your expertise with us, and bringing this world one step closer to being non-toxic and environmentally friendly by helping me to not be neurotic and loosen the grip. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, I don't know how much money
the world
you
is a
spent,
safer place because of you.
You spent a lot of money to get that. That was that was a good comment. I got to start talking to who you're talking to. I like it. All right, Dr. Brooke, your closing thoughts.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, Amy, for joining us today. You do such a beautiful job with us, and I've always known that you're such an asset, not just because of the cleaning and the supplies, but for the peace you bring into our life. So, like Dr. Rabb said, thank you for what you do, and like Dr. Frank said, thank you for helping us to know that there's some really good alternatives. And for anybody listening who is reluctant to throw out the bounce sheets and the other toxic stuff, I'll tell you, if you put that behind your freezer in your garage, if you put some dryer sheets behind there, anywhere you don't want spiders in your wood pile, in your storage, you will not have any insects. It's that toxic. So use those for those instead of in your home. So thanks again so much. It's just such good information.
Well, I want to thank you for sharing the information. I think it's great that, bringing attention to people have to take more control of what's happening in the house.
Yes.
Having products like this is very important. And I do believe that at some point, and maybe another 6 to 18 months, people are going to have to address this. They're going to have to be dealing with it because it is going to affect them. They're going to look around. They're going to start feeling certain things. They're going to realize, well, look, how clean am I? How clean is my home? I'm here all the time. I need to do something about that. Also, don't be afraid if this is an opportunity for you, if you like it, to go out there and share it and, be successful with it. Have yourself some success and, get yourself some great, deposits and get out there and share it because everyone needs a good business these days. So what better way is to help people stay healthy and clean, and you're going to live longer. So look at the other side as well for everyone out there. Might as well have some fun and loving and doing what you're doing. So
reach out to Amy. Yeah, reach out to Amy. See if you can maybe sell some of this stuff or offer it to people. Yeah, what a great idea.
Yeah, and if you create a post, Amy, and Doc gets it to me, I'll put it on our site for you, okay? Something you want
thank you.
We'll do that for you, okay? We'd be happy. All right, the gentleman's telling me he's got to close, please. So he says, get the hell out of here. I love when that guy is on me. I tell you one thing, it's been a great show, everyone. Thanks for coming out this week. Have a great week out there. And remember, one thing, share with friends. Take care.
Peace and love.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We are a globally hosted show dedicated to sharing holistic lifestyle events, practitioners, products and services, and useful information. Visit our website, createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Once again, createyourholisticlifestyle.com. Of course, our Facebook page is Create Your Holistic Lifestyle Show. We will see you next week.
Namaste.